I was very, very fortunate in that during the time when I was really ramping up on this musical touring,
Mm-hmm.
I also was pretty far along in the development of what I believed to be the next phase in the computer industry development, which was, and this is something that I always dreamed about and eventually was able to prototype and work on directly, which is the ability to take the computer and just pick it up and interact directly with the screen. So that was a theme in my technical development. There, you may remember there was a time when there weren't flat panel displays.
Right.
And so the very first high resolution full color flat panel displays, the very first one that was actually marketed as a desktop product,
Mm-hmm.
we did it at Silicon Graphics.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, there were flat panel displays, but they were really prototypes until we were able to market this thing as a workstation display, as a PC display. That was in 1994, I think. And then one of the first things, so part of that was just making it something that you could pick up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that, the evolution of portable computers, laptops always had to have flat panel displays, but the kind of resolution and color that was required for a desktop computer, and in particular a graphics workstation, things that we take for granted now,
Right.
that required a whole bunch more technology packed into that display than had been done before.
Wow.
So one of the first things that I started working on once we had that flat panel display was capacitive digitizers, which that this is the technology that is in every touchscreen product. All the smartphones,
Mm-hmm.
all the tablets. Started working on interacting directly with the display, and built a prototype of that stuff. I actually shopped this around because it didn't actually belong inside of Silicon Graphics product family. It
Mm-hmm.
was just something that I told the board, I'm so excited about being able to interact directly with the display and the potential for that, the potential to manipulate things and capture ideas, expressively with a pen.
Mm-hmm.
I was so excited about that stuff. I knew that it wasn't really in SGI's product line, but they were like, well, go ahead and develop it. Pretty soon I realized, oh, what they were doing was, seeing if I could develop, if my team could develop something that actually had intellectual property value.
Mm-hmm.
And so once we had done our prototypes, the SGI management said, "Great, see if you can find somebody to buy this from us."
Oh, wow.
So the first person I went to was Steve Jobs, because
Really?
because I knew him well, and basically he said, "I love your display stuff. We're never going to do a tablet."
That's hilarious. What
And
year was this?
1997. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
So this is
So
pre everything they've done. I mean, pre iPhone, pre
yeah, yeah, yeah,
iPad, obviously.
yeah. I at that time I was like, well, I can't let go of this, so I'm not just going to work on displays. I got to work on this other stuff.
Hmm.
We shot so Jeff Hawkins, who did the Palm Pilot, that he was like the second person that I went to, because I was looking for allies, people who could help us, start something. John Doerr at Kleiner Perkins. Basically, I went all the way up and down Sand Hill Road,
Hmm.
looking for who wants to help me spin this out of Silicon Graphics. And then somebody said, well, you need somebody with somebody who's really hardware focused, and and the venture capital community these days thinks that hardware is so difficult to do. You should, find some big hardware company. So I went and took it to Michael Dell, and I took my prototypes and demonstrated in his little office there in Austin. And he says, "Have you spoken with Microsoft?" And I was like, "Well, I'm not real impressed with the products that Microsoft puts out." I'm a Silicon Valley guy, and he says, "Well, this isn't going to go anywhere unless it's running Office. So you better talk to Microsoft." So then I went up to Microsoft, and it became clear that not only had Silicon Graphics found its buyer, but that Bill Gates was really, really excited about this stuff.
Whoa.
So that's how I so that's how I got to know him. And I
Oh
joined
my
Microsoft,
gosh.
but I was a Silicon Valley guy, so my work life was in starting in 1998 when I joined Microsoft. My work life was like what people's work lives are now during the pandemic, where you're home most of the time and you're going into the office for small amounts of time to get together with your coworkers.